So on Amazon right now, if you search for coloring book, you can see that this particular coloring book, which is the Coco Wayo style, is actually really doing well right now. If you look up, you can see that it is bestseller. And you can see that they have over 3,300 verified purchase reviews. And if you multiply that number by the average price, which is about $7.99, this particular coloring book alone has generated over $26,000 in revenue. Now, this book was published about 11 months ago, meaning that this book is gaining or generating over $2,300 every single month in revenue. And in this tutorial, I will be showing you how you can use this exact same coloring book theme or idea to create your own coloring book using the power of AI and have it start selling just like this with Amazon KDP. Now, the first thing when it comes to creating your coloring book is you want to get a name for your coloring book. Now, as you can see, this particular coloring book we're getting our idea from is actually a relaxation coloring book. And what we want to do is we want to go over to ChatGPT and give ChatGPT a prompt for name ideas. So we can tell ChatGPT, I would like to create a coloring book for relaxation with bold, easy to color designs for kids and adults. And I'm taking inspiration from the Coco Wire Stress Relief coloring book. Now, give me 20 coloring book name ideas that I can use for my coloring book. Now, ChatGPT has gone ahead to give us name ideas. Now, if you look at it, you can see all these name ideas are actually great. And you may just want to go through it and pick what you want. If you're not comfortable with the name ideas that ChatGPT gives you, you can simply tell ChatGPT to give you 20 more or 30 more just for you to have a larger variety of options. However, I will be choosing color therapy as now. The next step that we want to do is know our book specification. Now, if we look at this particular coloring book that we are getting inspiration from, you can see the specifications of this book, and this will help us to be able to craft our own specifications. And for our book specifications, our dimension is 8.5 by 8.5 inches. It will be bleed. The number of page will be 110 pages. The binding will be paperback, and of course, the interior color will be black and white. Now, the next step we want to do is we want to set up our trim size, bleed, and margin, and I'm going to be explaining what this is in a moment. Now, what you want to do is you want to head over to Amazon KDP Help Topics, and under this you will see help topics that will help you when creating your book. What you want to go to is book formatting, and you want to go to format your paperback. Now, under format your paperback, you want to choose set trim size, bleed, and margins. Now you can see this is what trim size, bleed, and margin means, and this would help you when creating your book. Now, the first thing is we want to, of course, set our trim size. Now, we're going to scroll down and we're going to click on this. So this trim size is what applies to us. The one below applies to, Japan. But I believe a majority of you that is listening to me right now, this is what will be applicable to you. So you want to just click on it. It will bring a drop down here where you can, of course, select the trim size that resonates with the dimension that we are going for. So this is the dimension we're going for, which is 8.5 by 8.5, which is an acceptable trim size for Amazon. Now, just for you to understand what bleed is a printing term that refers to when printed objects on a page, such as images, background, color, or graphics, extend past where the publication will be trimmed. So if you scroll further, you can see an example, a typical example. This is an example of no bleed, which is on the left-hand side, and with bleed, which is on the right-hand side. You can see that the images extend towards the end of the page, such that when it is trimmed out after the whole printing, the images would extend towards the edge of the book, and which is what our coloring book we aim to go for. Now, since we are choosing with bleed, we want to know the trim size that we will be working with in setting up our actual coloring page. So we're going to go here and click on examples of page size with and without bleed. We're going to click on the drop down, and we're just going to go ahead to go to our dimension, which is 8.5 by 8.5. So if you see here, this is 8.5 by 8.5. However, this is without bleed. So this will be the corresponding page size when we are adding bleed. So this is the actual inches we want to be imputing when we are designing our original page. Next thing we want to do is we're going to go head over to Canva. We're going to click here. this plus icon and we are going to create a custom size. You want to make sure that this unit is in inches and want to go and input the width and height as stated by Amazon, which is 8.625 by 8.75. And we're going to go ahead and click generate a new design. Our page is created now and you can see all is good. The next thing we are going to do is we want to set up our margin. Now we're going to go back to Amazon Help Topics and we are going to scroll all the way down just for us to know our margin. So now this is under margins, and when we go to this table below, you can see the page count will determine the margin. And because our page count is 110 pages, our page count falls in between these 24 to 150 pages. And because of course we are using bleed, this will be our inside gutter margin and this will be our outside gutter margin, which is 0.375 by 0.375. Next thing we're going to go to is we're going to set our margin. Now, I already have my margins here easily. However, if you go to your Canva page and you do not have this, you want to simply go to File, you want to click on Settings, and you want to click on Show Rulers and Guides, and this would pop out. Next thing we want to do is we want to set our margins, which is 0.375 on all corners. So we can zoom this out just so we can see clearly. And now we can pull this all the way to 0.375. Now we got 0.378. You may not be able to get the exact number, but at least you want to go for something closest to it, and it is better more than less. So now that we've gotten this, we want to do the same for all four corners. However, one very simple way to do that is you want to go to Elements in Canva and select a square shape. Once you select a square shape, you want to resize it to fit into this particular area here. So you can hold down the Shift button and resize it just so that it remains a square. Now we want to move it up to this area here to see that it fits perfectly. And if you look at it, you can see that it fits perfectly well. Now what we are going to do is we're going to go here and duplicate it. We'll duplicate that and bring it over here and pull this down. Same thing we want to duplicate here. We're going to go over here and we're going to drag this all the way here. Then we can also move this down and we're going to move this all the way here. So once that is all said and done and we are done with all of the margins, we are going to take out these boxes as we no longer have use for them. So we're going to delete all of them. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this particular page into 109. So this will make it 110. You want to make sure that you've done the margins first, because when duplicating it, all the margins will be replicated in the other pages, just so that you do not have to go do all the margins over again. So now I'm going to duplicate this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's just take one out. So we have 10. And just to make it easier, we can go to the grid view and we can copy everything and duplicate this 11 times, because 11 times 10 makes it 110. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And if we should scroll down, so you can see we have 120 here. So we are just going to delete the ones we don't need. So we're just going to take this out and we have 110 here. Now we're going to go over to the very first page and of course we want to start designing our coloring pages. Now the next thing we want to do is we're going to head over to this particular coloring book AI tool. And this coloring book AI tool is going to help us to be able to bulk generate coloring images that we can use for our coloring book. So I've left the link in the description. You want to go there, click the link and it will take you to this AI tool. If you click on it, you can see that this AI tool has free coloring pages. It also has photo to coloring pages and it also has the text to coloring pages. Now we're going to be leveraging on the text to coloring page first. And for this text to coloring page, it will give us this part where we can enter a prompt and this AI tool will bring out results based on that prompt. So you can either do a prompt from your head. However, you can also go to ChatGPT and give it a prompt to give you prompts. Cool, right? So you can say, I would like to use AI to generate the coloring pages for the coloring book for kids and adults. I need 50 prompts. It could be 100 fonts. It depends on the length of your coloring page. So since we have 110 page, we can utilize 55 prompts. However, I use 50 because we may still take a bit of images from the free coloring page. So I need 50 prompts I can put into an AI tool that will produce bold and easy to color coloring pages, which offer simple fun designs, including animals, landscapes, flowers, patterns, mushrooms, and many more for relaxation. So remember, we want to make it simple. If you look at this particular one we're trying to replicate, you can see the kind of samples that they have. Very simple, bold, thick lines, and easy to understand, color, and comprehend. So now ChatGPT has gone ahead to give us beautiful things. You can see it has broken it down into several categories. You can see that for animals, landscapes, and nature. You can see that for patterns and the likes. So what you want to do is we want to go ahead to start creating our coloring pages. So now we can take the first one and we're going to go back to this particular AI tool and we can post it here. However, we may want to tweak it a little bit just to emphasize on what we want. So we can say a cute elephant with bold outlines and simple patterns. So we can say generate coloring page now. Now what we want to do is you want to go to the difficulty level. This difficulty level will help this AI to understand how easy or how complicated you want your coloring page to look like. So we're going to go for toddler because like I said, we want something really simple and easy to draw. So we're also going to pick the dimension. Remember that it is 8.5 by 8.5, which is more like a square. So we're going to choose 1:1. And the batch you can generate more or less depending on what you want. But I would suggest you generate 2 or more, just so that you have more options that you can choose from. However, I'm just going to generate 3. So 3, we're going to choose remove watermark and we're going to choose higher quality. And now we're going to go ahead and generate now. So now this AI tool has given us a cute coloring page and you can see that for the elephant, and I really like this particular one. So we're just going to click on it and we're going to go ahead to download as PNG. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for another one. So let's go back to ChatGPT. So instead of animal, we're going to choose something of landscape and nature. So let's do this here. Copy. We're going to go back to this AI tool and we're going to paste it. And we're going to go again. Toddler 1:1. Let's generate 3. And of course, high print quality, remove watermark. We're going to go ahead and generate now. So now this AI tool has also given us something cute again. And I'm just going to go with this one because it looks cute. So we're going to go ahead and download as PNG. And this is how we are going to do it for each and all of our prompts. We can also go to the free coloring. Mind you, if you have a photo to coloring page, you can also impute a photo and need to change it to a coloring page. But we're going to use some of the free coloring tools. So we can just simply scroll and see something that relates to something relaxing, something that is simple, not too sophisticated. So we're going to scroll down. You can see this unicorn is looking good. So if we click on it, we can also see which we can also pick to download. So this unicorn looks good. And we can go ahead to open it. And of course, we can decide to download it as a PNG. So this is how we are going to continue looking for all of our coloring pages till we have completed up to the amount we have. So I'm just going to do that off the camera and we are going to head over to Canva. So now I've gone ahead to create all of our coloring images and now we're just going to head to Canva and we are going to first of all upload them into Canva. So we're going to go to upload files. And now we're going to have them all uploaded. Now, of course, what we want to do now is to start putting them into our coloring pages. Now, of course, the first thing we want to do is to create the first page of the coloring page, which typically I would just like to put the name of our coloring book in black and white, of course. So we can just have this here. We can have this here, color therapy. And what we want to do is we can change the fonts. So I'm just going to utilize this font. I'm going to make it super bold. And then I can just add the effect to be something like this, just so that it represents the black and white. Then we can also copy this here and just include coloring book for kids. We can decide to change the fonts if we want to. So I'm going to leave it at this here, finger paints, coloring books for kids. And just to add a little spice to it, we can take one of our design just to make it cute. So I'm going to stretch it here. You can see that for the free coloring pages, it somewhat has black borders. You can see it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop them out. You want to be careful so it doesn't affect your margin or it doesn't shift any parts of your margin. So now that it's cropped out, I can just zoom that out here. Then we can move the text a bit downwards. So you can see this is looking good for our first page. This next page will be the back of this page, and this page we can just simply impute our copyright. So we've just gone to impute the copyrights here. So the next page is going to be, usually I'll prefer it to be like the name page where the owner of the book or the coloring book gets to write his or her name. So we're just going to go ahead and add a text. So you can say this book belongs to, and we can just have that zoomed in. I changed the font to wedges, and of course the effects will be in black and white. And we're just going to zoom that all the way here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a line for the name. So we're just going to type in line under the elements section. We go over to graphics, and you can see there are a lot of lines that we can work with. I will look for this one, something that looks a bit thick, so it's really visible. So this book belongs to, should be a bit above. Then this, we can now stretch this here. We can take this above, we can put this a little bit up here. And you want to make sure it is centralized, and that is good. If you want to put a little bit of designs, that is also up to you. You can also go back to your uploads and just add a little bit of design. Like I said, it's totally up to you. So let's just put something like this here. So we can zoom that out. We can make it transparent. So this is looking cute and it's looking okay. Next thing we want to do, we want to go over next. I will just go ahead to start imputing our designs. By the way, if you are finding this video helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to join the family, and do not forget to smash the notification bell icon so when next I drop a new video, YouTube will notify you first. Remember, this is the right hand side, this will be the left hand side, and typically for this kind of books, you can leave the left hand side page blank just in case the person coloring the book is making use of marker so that it doesn't seep in over to the next page. So after we have done the name page, we're going to leave this page blank. We're going to go here and add a design. And we're just going to start imputing our design here. So we can add this. We want to make it as big and bold as possible. So we're going to leave this page blank, and we're going to go over to the next page and we're going to add our design. We want to make it as bold as possible. Again, you want to leave this page blank and you want to go over to the next. So we're just going to add this. You can see now this is one from the free coloring page, and you can see that it sort of has some border lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to crop all these lines out, and we're going to zoom it out to be as bold as possible. So we can have this, and we're going to leave this page blank, go over to the next, and we can add this. So we're going to continue this and do the same for all of our coloring pages. So I'm going to go do that off the camera and just finish that up. So now we have finished creating our coloring book. And if you look at it on the grid lane, you can see all our coloring images and they look super cute, ranging from patterns to animals to nature and all other cute things. So this is exactly what we want. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the share icon. We're going to go ahead and click on download. We're going to go select the file type and change it to PDF print. We're going to tick flatten PDF and we're going to go click CMYK. Now, this particular one is actually for the Canva Pro users. However, Canva offers a 30-day trial. And with that 30-day trial, you'll be able to access all of the Pro features on Canva. So what you want to do is click on it and you want to click on download. And now that your image is going to be downloaded, so you can see that all of these images, we used AI to create them easily, and we were able to do that with this particular AI tool. Now, this particular AI tool allows you to be able to access the free coloring pages. However, for the text to coloring page, you would need to be subscribed to the pricing plan, and there is the monthly plan, which is the $9.99 for starters, then for hobby, professional, and business. And of course, the higher the pricing, the more features that you have access to. Now, it's so beautiful because the text to coloring page allows you to be able to give it a prompt based on the results you want. And you saw how we did it, which is super amazing. They also have good free coloring pages. However, in order for you to be able to leverage on the best, especially when you are trying to create multiple coloring book themes, you would need a text to coloring page, and this particular tool is super great for that. Like I said, I left a link in the description and it will take you up to this particular AI tool where you can sign up and get started. Now, the next step that we are going to do is we are going to be designing the cover page of our coloring book. Now, what we want to do is we are going to head over to Amazon Cover Calculator, and you're simply going to input the details or the specifications of your book so that Amazon can give you a template which you are going to work with. So you're going to enter the binding type, which is paperback. The interior type is obviously black and white. The paper type is going to be white paper. The reading direction is left to right. The measurement unit is in inches. The interior trim size is 8.5 by 8.5. So we're going to tick that. And the page count is 110 pages. Now we're going to go ahead and click on calculate dimensions. And we're going to download the template. So now our paperback template is downloaded, and typically it comes as a zip folder. So what you want to do is obviously you want to click on it and you want to unzip it. So this particular one, which is the PNG file, is the one we are going to be using, and we're just going to have that somewhere. And the next thing is we're going to go to Canva. We're going to click on a new page, go to custom size, make sure it's in units. We want to take all of this out. These ones are the ones we use for the interior page. And now for the cover page, we're going to go to see the cover. You can see the width is 17.498. We're going to copy that. We're going to go here. We're going to paste it. We want to go ahead to check the height, 8.75. We're going to go here and input that and create a new design. So now you can see that our new design is created. And what we want to do is go to upload and upload that template that Amazon has given to us. So once we have that on our design, we want to zoom it to fit the exact design. It should be a perfect fit because we use the actual dimension. Now, the purpose of putting the template on our design is just for us to be able to see it as a guide so that when we are creating our cover, we do not extend our designs to some sensitive areas that we should not put our designs on. For example, the barcode ought to be here just so we do not extend our design. And also, these pink lines are where the lines will be trimmed out of, so we do not extend any right up to that place. Now, what we want to do now is to create our cover. And what we want to do is we want to reduce the transparency of this just so that we can see what we're doing. And of course, we want to move it so that we can be able to color our design. So let's put it at this color here. So now what we want to do next is that we want to add our text, which is color therapy. So I'm going to use the same text here. So what I'm going to do is just copy, and I'm going to go back to our cover design and I'm going to paste it here. So we have that, and we're going to zoom that out, and we can make the color white. And of course, change the effects to be this. So the external color will be black, and we can increase the thickness of that. Then next thing is we want to copy this, coloring books for kids. We'll copy this, and we're going to go again and paste that here. So we can paste it here. We want to ensure that it's centralized. Then we can also change this. Also, we can change the effect to this. And of course, the main color could be, let's make it blue, just so that it pops out well. So now we have done the first set. The next thing is we want to start adding some of our designs around it. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to go back and head back to this coloring tool, this coloring AI tool. If you click on this hamburger icon, you can see that one beautiful thing about this AI tool is that it has online coloring, meaning that you can add some color to this coloring images. So we're going to go back to some of the coloring images that we got here, which were from the free coloring pages. So Hello Kitty was one of it. So we're just going to go ahead and click on it, and we're going to click on online coloring. Now it will take us to this particular tool where we can just click on some part of the image and it will be colored. So I had to zoom that out. So we can go choose here. The love is red. Her bow can be light pink here. The inside of her bow can be yellow. Of course, we all know Hello Kitty is sort of like a white cat. So we can make her face white. Then her nose can be black. Her gown, we can make her gown to blue just to make it pop. Then the bottom of her gown can also be yellow just to match with her hair bonnet. And what we want to do is we can have that saved. So we want to download that as PNG. And that is saved. The next thing is we're going to go to another one that we have used. So we used pig and a lamb. So we're going to come here and we're going to go ahead and choose online coloring. We can also zoom it out. We want to ensure that we click detect boundary. We want to click on this paint bucket. And typically pigs are more like light pink. So we can choose this and choose the lighter part of the pink here. I want to go here. I want to put it here on his. If we are not comfortable with the color, we can always click on back. I want the pink to be way lighter. So this is okay. I want to do the same for his face, for his ears. Then for his nose and his hood, we can make it a darker pink. And we can put this here on his nose, on his feet. So we're going to do that to the lamb's face, and the whole other parts of the lamb can be white because of the lamb's hair. And what we can do is we can go ahead and save that also as a PNG. So this is how we're going to do for a few of the coloring page, just because we want to achieve something similar to this. So I'm going to go do that off the camera and of course have that finished. So we have finished coloring a few of our coloring images which we are going to use in designing our cover. And of course, we have uploaded them. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on them and select. So you can see it has a white background. What we're going to do is simply click on background remover. So you can see this one has a white pigment which has removed the white pigment. So what we're going to do for this one, instead of using the background remover, we're going to go ahead over to edit and we're going to go to click on magic grab. Now, this one is actually available for the pro users. And like I said, Canva gives you 30 days free trial with all access to the pro feature. And we're just going to click on it. And of course, we're going to grab it. So now that we've grabbed it, we have our white still intact and we can delete this. So we're going to reduce it and we're going to put it around. We want to take note of the pink lines. Like I said, the pink lines is the line where there's going to be trim. So if we want our design to not be cut off at that point, we need to take note of that. So the same thing is we're going to gradually add our designs. Same thing, this one also has a white. So we're also going to use the magic grab. So we're going to scroll and click on magic grab and it's going to grab each of them. So we can pull it out of the frame and delete the frame. So we can increase the size and put it over here. Next thing we're going to do is we're also going to go click on the mushroom, and this time we can just say background remover because what we need doesn't have any white, and you can see it has given us just the ones that we need. We can come back here and we can put this here. We want to reduce the size but big enough so that it can be very visible. Then we can also go here and take the dolphin, and we can just click on background remover. So we can reduce the size of this, and we're going to bring it over here. You can add more depending on what you want. And now that that is set and done, what we want to do now is we want to go over and do the back. So typically for the back, usually people will just add some examples of how the coloring page inside looks like. Another thing we can do just to make our front cover page cuter, we can just add love design in the background. So we have this here. We can reduce the size, reduce the transparency. We can make the color not so red. Let's move it towards the pink part. We can move it here, duplicate it around, make it a bit random. And the next thing is we're going to go ahead to add some of our designs. So we can just go click on this, and we're going to reduce it all the way here. We can go click on another one, reduce it all the way. Then we can pick another one again. We can reduce it all the way. We want to ensure that we have similar size. And of course, we can also do the same again. So you can see that our image is almost cutting out into where the barcode is. So we want to go ahead and adjust that. So we have done that to reduce the size. And what we can do is we can just add the author of the book. So let's just copy this, and it can be TFI Designs. So once we are done with all the edits we want to do, and we can look at it once again just to see that nothing important is entering into the trim area. And once all that is set and done, we want to go ahead and delete this. So you can see this is how our book is going to look like. And you can see it's really looking pretty. If you look at this particular one, it's somewhat just the way that one is. Now we're going to go ahead and download it. Same, we're going to go, the file type will be PDF standard, flattened PDF, and we're going to download it. Now that we have done with our internal pages of our coloring book and also the coloring book cover, the next step will be to head over to Amazon KDP. You want to create an account, you want to sign up. And once you sign up, you want to hit the create button. This will bring you to this point where you will choose what you like to create. Since our coloring book is paperback, we're going to pick create paperback. We're going to go ahead and leave our language at English. If your language is different, then you can go ahead to pick as it is for you. Then the book title will be Color Therapy. The subtitle is Coloring Books for Kids. Try not to duplicate the book title. You don't want to put Color Therapy, Coloring Book, then subtitle Coloring Book again. Okay, so you want to put your title and your subtitle just so that Amazon does not reject your book back. So now we are going to put our subtitle, Coloring Book for Kids. This is not applicable to us, so we're going to leave that. This also, we don't have that, so we're going to leave that because it's optional. So the author, you can put your pen name or you can put your actual name, and I'm just going to go ahead and put TFI Designs. Contributor, we do not have any contributors, we did it all ourselves. The description, we're going to go ahead and put in the description for our book. So I have just gone ahead to impute our description. I already have that prepared. Then for the primary audience, is not applicable to us. Then the reading age, the minimum is we want to set it at from age 7, and of course maximum 18 plus, because even adults can also color. We want to leave the primary marketplace at amazon.com. We're going to choose the categories. So we want to choose children books. Subcategory will be activity craft books, activity books, and we have coloring books. Then non-fiction, and we're going to save that. Now for the keyword, the best way to find your keywords is to go to Amazon, because you want to look for keywords that people are actually searching for. So if you go to amazon.com and the kind of book that we just created, the first thing you want to search for is coloring book. And in coloring book, you can see coloring book for adults, relaxation, coloring book for kids ages 4 to 8, coloring markers, coloring book for toddlers, and all of that. So what we want to choose is this. So we can click on this. We can copy this. We can go again and check for coloring book for kids. And we're going to go back to impute that. We can also see coloring books for boys, coloring books for girls. and we have imputed that. We can also go back. We can also go for activity books. Let's see, activity books for kids ages 6 to 8. We can also click on that. We can go back and we're going to put that here. We can also put activity books for kids. You can also see ages 8 to 10, and we can also copy that and also put that in here. So you can see that we're using what people are actively searching for. And if you do that, when people type in these keywords, then your book will have more chances to be more visible to these people. So the publication date, want to tick this. They release my book for sale now, want to save and want to continue. Next thing we want to do is want to get a free ISBN. So we want to assign it to our book. And you can see an ISBN is automatically generated for us. For our print option, we are going to leave it at black and white interior. For the trim size, is going to be select a different trim size. And we're going to go choose our trim size, which is 8.5 by 8.5 inches. And since it is with bleed, we're going to put bleed. For paperback, we're going to choose glossy just so that it looks much more presentable. We're going to upload our manuscript, which is the interior part of our coloring book. So we're going to put that here. So now we've uploaded our manuscript as well as our book cover. We want to go over to AI generated content and we're going to click yes. For the texts, we're going to click none. For the images, we're going to say yes. And the AI that we used, we're going to indicate it here. For translations, none. Remember, it's just for Amazon to be aware. It doesn't affect the visibility of your coloring book at all. So we're going to scroll and click on launch review. Now, Amazon is going to give you a preview of how your coloring book will look like. So this is how it looks like. And if we should go all the way, you can see our coloring book here and all the designs, which is actually pretty beautiful. And if all that is okay and you're cool with the designs and everything, you want to click on approve and you want to scroll down all the way and you want to click on save and continue. Now you want to leave the territories at all territories. Marketplace is okay, Amazon. Now when it comes to your pricing, one particular way or one easy way to do that is you want to go to similar books. For example, this particular one that we are taking inspiration from, the pricing is $7.99, and if you also look down, you can see many of those books $7.99, $7.99, $7.99, and all of that. So you want to set your pricing similar to this kind of books. So we're just going to set it at $7.99. Now you do not want to set it way above because first of all, you are starting out, you're a beginner, and it's also coloring book you're offering. So you want to match your price to the price in the already existing market. If you want to go a bit lower, that's fine. However, you do not want to go all the way lower. As you can see, this is your royalty that you will make per book. That means once your book is published and it is printed out by Amazon and shipped directly to your customer, what you'll be making is this. So if you go all the way lower with your pricing, you will be making very little royalty. So now you can also see all the prices has automatically be updated for other of Amazon.com websites. You can easily go and edit them yourself if you want to. However, I do not see need to, as of course, this is the exact matched price to the dollar price. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Now you can see that the terms and conditions, it takes up to 72 hours for your book to be available for purchase, meaning that once you are done and you've uploaded your book, Amazon is going to vet your book. They want to vet it for standard and of course to make sure that everything is all good. So you want to take more time in creating your interior designs and of course your cover just so that it looks good. It is well standard for customers. You don't just want to put substandard books out there. Then you can also request a book for yourself just to see a proof on how it will actually look when it is going to be printed and sent to customers. You can also do that after you've published your book. That's totally fine. And once all that is said and done, you want to click on publish your book. So now you can see that our paperback book has been submitted and has been sent for publishing. Now this particular coloring book thing is really doing well, and just like I said earlier, this particular coloring book alone generates over $2,000 monthly. However, since you are a beginner, one better way to take advantage of this is to create multiple books, and you can do that with multiple themes. and upload them to Amazon. And doing that actually increases your opportunity for more revenue. Now, aside coloring books, there are also other kind of books that are doing well on Amazon KDP. For example, we have the no content books where you can create simple books like journals, diaries, and you can upload them to Amazon to start selling. And the beautiful thing about this kind of books is that they are super easy to create and you can get started with them and start selling as a total beginner. And I'm going to be showing you step by step how you can create a low content book and upload to Amazon KDP. You want to click the video you see on your screen right now to get more info on that.